It's this color.
Yep.
So,
That's gonna look pretty sharp.
you like it?
Yep,
Oh,
this is gonna
good.
look
Thank
sharp.
you. I'd be bummed if you said it's gonna look like crap.
Oh man, this is gonna be a good one today.
Right, good morning everyone. Blaine and I are starting a new site today. We're hauling the skiddy right now. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this one's gonna be a doozy. It is a huge project.
Yeah, it's really not the size of the job that makes it a doozy, it's just really complicated. And so what we're gonna do is kind of take you along step by step how we put all the different pieces of the puzzle together on a job that has a lot of different moving parts. Man, Sam does that pretty good for being one-handed. He's got the camera in one hand and he's got it down. Imagine how fast he'd work if he could use both his hands. So this is the new ASV RT50 and this is a really tight site, and the guys, we were supposed to give this machine back and we just, honestly, the guys really liked it. So
this is the back.
A lot of paver.
That is gonna be a whole lot of paver.
So on this,
All right, here is our before walkthrough.
So on this job site, we installed that paver driveway you seen earlier. We're gonna put pavers over these stairs and we're gonna continue the pavers out the front, I believe. But here's where it really gets the dilemma. That driveway, we have to cross over and then we have to go through this narrow gate. And this is where,
Kidding, man, this is gonna be a big one.
we've only got 3 inches of room. That's why the guys really like that ASV, because it's skinny and it's doing it. We got to remove that deck, build an elevated deck, a walkway, and then connect that up to a retaining wall with a stair system that we had built a few years back.
I'll grab it from stands, but we got that real nice stand up, that worm saw for cutting the
Radius, then you can angle that.
Yeah, you can tip it, walk behind. Yeah. Well, Blaine is going to be running materials here for a decent chunk of the day. So first thing that we're going to do while he's running is we're going to get rid of this little deck.
AKA Famous Blaine. He was actually at a Versalock picking up some materials and a guy walked in. And the guy's like, hey, that's Famous Blaine! Yeah, that deck is in really rough shape, but why does he not have gloves on?
Ah, freaking. Yeah, a whole bunch of Japanese beetles on there. It's crazy though, man. If you take those things and you squish them, it releases a pheromone that brings that draws more of them in. Like, the best way that I found to get rid of those is you gotta walk around with like a cup full of soapy water and knock them in there.
Yeah, that's true. On this deck, this isn't exactly how I guess I would have first approached it. I would have, if I had the beak available, the guys actually don't have the beak here, but I would have just taken that ASV, went up to that deck, grabbed it, put pressure on it to see where it was connected to the house, then cut those connections to the house, and then pulled it all the way off. But getting it out would be a challenge through that gate. So then instead of cutting the deck down, or the first scene, I don't know if I would have done it, but I would have seen if I could have picked the whole thing up over the gate and dropped it down. But this way works too. Holy crap. That had to be carpenter ants.
That's pretty rotted out. Bunch of ants.
Yeah. Still no gloves. I don't like how that pallet is loaded behind the back axles. There had to be another pallet because that would have made the trailer fishtail. Oh yeah, there it is. So they must have had that second pallet loaded in front of the axles to balance it out. You gotta be careful. You don't want to get too much weight behind the back axles of a trailer, because as you're going down the road, it'll do this sort of thing.
All right.
Oh, it's got gloves on finally.
It looks like they just nailed it in there. There's no leg bolts or anything.
A lot of times there isn't.
Maybe we just jump on it and it pops off.
Inches of room.
Alright guys, this is the plan for today. Blaine's out getting some blocks for our huge paver project that we're working on. Oh, hi sweet girl. I haven't seen you in a while. Look at you. Hi sweet girl.
I'm so glad he doesn't talk to the rest of the crew like that.
In the meantime, we're over at Stan's. We gotta get some stuff.
Oh, hi, sweet Blaine. How are you today, sweet Blaine? That'd be so funny.
All right.
That's where it went. That's my hatchet. I was missing that. We've got a checkout board in the garage. I checked it. So Sam took it and he didn't check it out. But then it was just like magically back a couple days later. So now I know where my hatchet went. Okay, so this is going to be a raised patio.
Make sure that our base is super nice and level. So we got the Screed-O-Matic 5000.
So, that's how Sam talks 24/7. Screed-O-Matic 5000. So we've got a couple different ways of building this raised patio. Now what we're actually going to be doing is using fill, compacting it, and I'm going to show you something pretty cool here in just a moment.
I cut a notch out of our Screed-O-Matic so that it'll set where it needs to set on the blocks. All right, our base is all in. Get our first course of geogrid in, and then so the next step, we're gonna put another course of block in, fill it up with class 5, pack the heck out of it. Then will be another layer of geogrid. And we'll do one more course of the blocks, pack the hell out of it, and then we'll be sanding pavers on top of that. This notch in the back is dead middle.
So let me talk about real quick hand cutting or hand chiseling a block like this. Once you get it down, you can get it done in about 60 seconds or so. Or you can get a block splitter and get it down to about 13 seconds or so.
Marked. We got the negotiator, eye protection. And what I like to do,
I hope he's not allergic.
damn wasps. Okay. What I like to do is take and just kind of score it on each side, and then we'll really start hammering on it to get it to split.
But the thing is, when you get on a bigger project where you've got a ton of blocks to split, you do want to have a block splitter because it just saves so much wear and tear in your guys.
So then when you go and score it, you know, kind of score each side like this, that just helps it get a little bit more even split.
Let's talk about what he's doing here for a moment. He's actually building his own units. That's why we like these Versalox standard units. You see all these lines in the going across these blocks. These are guidelines for us when we're out in a field. We use those lines to build whatever block we need. We don't have to order something. We don't have to hope it's in stock. We don't have to hope the colors match. We can literally take any block and craft out in the field what we need for corners, inside, outside radiuses, stairs. And you're gonna see Blaine does something really cool with these things in like a moment.
And build it like a wall, and then we'll build a patio inside of it.
Instead of just using blocks for the whole thing.
Okay, so what Sam was saying is we could have used the pyramid method there and filled the entire core up with blocks. Now for a patio, I think that's overkill. What they're using is recycled class 5 and they're gridding it. And that grid, I told you I was gonna explain that. What that does is that ties all of the sides of the blocks together so it can't explode outward. Now, one thing about retaining walls, a floating retaining wall, so we're in the frost zone. We're gonna have frost heave. This whole system is designed to float, but that means it can't be tied to the house because your house or structures up here are not designed to float. And so then you'd have this weird angle. If you actually tied it, it would crack and break. So the wall's supposed to move evenly. That's how they work. But you can't have the soil underneath the wall doing the higgledy-piggledy. The soil underneath the wall has to all move evenly at the same time. And this is all Sam's camera work. He's got some really cool shots. So I hope that cleared up a little bit of that stuff. Screedomatic 5000 in action.
I think we'll have to snap this off or cut it. Probably cut it would be the quickest.
Yeah.
Cut this off.
Okay.
Well, the brick is going to sit on, the pavers will sit on this plus sand, so it won't go down unless we get the sand high enough, and that's going to be just, might as well just cut these off.
Yeah.
See, that's another thing, like the versatility of these things. We can just do what we need to do. I don't know why they just, if they're cutting them off, why don't they just zip them with a saw though? I don't know why they're chiseling them. I would just been done with it.
Yeah, we're gonna have to cut some random chunks.
So you can't have the grid has to, when you put grid in a wall, you have to have even grid throughout the whole wall. You can't have grid and then a space, then another layer of grid start, because this space will make your block cantilever. So sometimes you gotta put little ones in just to make sure that everything stays the same.
All right, we got that one and that one cut in there. So this first course here is all good to go. Next step, we're gonna glue all this down. Blaine's out getting more geogrid because we ran out. So while he's gone, we're gonna glue all of this. We're gonna get all these glued down.
Are we gonna glue them down, Sam?
And then start filling in with class 5, and then hopefully he should be back by then, and we'll get the next course on and just keep jamming.
Are we gonna glue that course down, Sam? All right, you guys. Well, hey, so we're gonna call this one the Scooby Project. Blaine and Sam are gonna be on this one for a while, so we're gonna walk you through step by step every step of the process. Tim is wrapping up a project for the boulder retaining walls, and then he's got some really big retaining wall that he's going to be starting. I'm going to be heading up north with Frankie because we've got to get all the firewood for the entire season cut, blocked, and ready to go. And then after that, I'm going to be starting a really nasty grading job that I'm not looking forward to. And we also got a really super cool mower that we're going to be testing. And so that's what we've got coming up down the pipeline. God bless you guys. Go get them, and hopefully we'll see you on another one. Cheers.